Have you ever crocheted in a round and you notice that your seam is slanting? Oh my God, it is so annoying when that happens. But there is a solution for it. But before I give you the solution, let me teach you why that slant is happening. It is so important. So go ahead and listen and see why exactly that slant is happening. Okay, and this is specifically for the half double crochet. The half double crochet is making this big issue happening here. So I have here 4 swatches, and each one has a different purpose. Okay, these 2 are double crochet, these 2 are half double crochet. I tried 2 different techniques for double crochet and I never have problems with the seam. You can see that right here. This one uses a chain of 2 in the beginning of the round, okay, even after increasing, and then it still goes straight. This piece, although it's going to be harder for you to see the seam, that piece is using the alternative turning chain for the beginning of the round for the first stitch. Both of these, as you can see if I put my hook right here, are straight. Now over here, the half double crochet is definitely slanted. But I have a solution on how to make it straight, but it comes with a consequence. So for the half double crochet, you will have to decide, do you want the slant, but it's going to show a little bit, maybe not too much? Or you want the slant to disappear and have a straight seam, but you have a little bit of bulkiness going on. Before I get into how do you remove the slant and make it straight, let me first teach you a little bit about the basics of the stitches and how they look like. It is so important, so be sure to listen. You will understand it a lot better, I promise you. So I have here a couple drawings that I got from the Craft Council, and you can see different stitches. Single crochet, half double crochet, and treble crochet. So let me explain to you the difference. So first of all, these 3 are full stitches. Maybe in different heights, but they're full stitches. This is a half stitch. There's a reason that it's called a half stitch. It is in between the single crochet and the double crochet. Okay? So for the single crochet, you can notice that this is a V, right? This is what a single crochet is. And when you place another single crochet on top of a single crochet, you're going into that space right next to it, unless you're doing the waistcoat stitch, then you're going on top of it, right? And you literally are on top of it. But here, you're going into that little space right next to the stitch. The same is true for the double crochet. You're going into that space right next to it, right here. So here's the stitch right here. And for the treble crochet, the same thing. Here's the stitch and you're going right here to make the next double crochet in the next round. For the half double crochet, it is really far over. This drawing doesn't even give us justice on how far over it is. I'll show you in a second what I mean by that, okay? But what I want to point out with these 3 right here is that your stitch for the next round or the next row is right on top of the bottom or the base of that stitch, which then means, like I showed you right here, your stitch is right on top. Okay, you're making it straight. This is for the double crochet, okay, but it would look exactly the same way for the single crochet or treble crochet. It's right on top. Now for the half double crochet, I made here 1 half double crochet right of the beginning of the round. And can you see that that space right here, this is, if I do the next round right on top, this is where the stitch would go, okay? But it's right here. Here's the base of the stitch, but here's where you're inserting your hook for the next round. You can see it right here again. Just going to go right in the middle of a row here. This is the space where you're inserting your hook, but this is the base of that stitch. You're really far over. Okay, and that is the issue with the half double crochet. So for a double crochet, you can see that the base of the double crochet right here is exactly on top of the space of the double crochet if you're going for the next round. So let me kind of show you over here, like in the middle of the row. Here's the base, and here's where you insert in your hook. Can you see that it's literally right above? Look, I'm even putting my hook in there and right above. there's the base. I can just move forward and you can see that the base is right below the space of the double crochet, right there. Now for a half double crochet, you can literally see that the base over here is not right above. It is here. Here's the space for the half double crochet, but here's the base. Do you see that there's a difference? I cannot go from the base over here and insert my hook into it like I just did for the double crochet, because it is slanted. It is right there. So that's the big issue of the half double crochet. That's why that slant is happening. Okay, it doesn't happen for the other stitches, and if it does, you might want to think about whether you're yarning over or yarn under. I have a tutorial for that in case you're interested, but there is a difference between yarn over and yarn under. So if you still see a slant for single crochet, double crochet, and treble crochet, you might want to think about whether you're yarning over or yarning under. So now, knowing that information, that the half double crochet is slanted naturally as a stitch itself, let's see how we can fix this. So if you typically go in rounds for a half double crochet, you'll do, a chain of one, or you remove the chain of one and just continue on doing your half double crochets. For this example right here, what I did is something a little bit different. Okay, so you have a negative going on over here, in my opinion, something that I don't really like too much, and that's that bulk right here. Okay, but that bulk is going to happen if you want your slant to disappear and you want your seam to be straight. Okay, so you have to decide whether you want the bulk but the seam to be straight, or whether you don't want the bulk and you're okay with having this slant. Okay, so here's how you do it if you don't want the slant. You have to decrease in the beginning of the round, and that's after you do your normal increasing, right? You decrease here at the beginning of the round, and you're increasing again at the end of the round, which then balance out the stitches. You have the same amount of stitches at the end, but you're making the seam now straight. Okay, so let me show you. So as I said, in the beginning of the round, you're going to do a decrease. There you go. And now you're just going to continue on doing your normal half double crochets for that specific round. So now you're at the end of the round, you now need to increase. You're doing 2 stitches right here, okay, and then you can slip stitch, which I like to do as a hidden slip stitch, where I do it from the back so you don't see it too much, so you don't have that extra bulk going on. Okay, and then that way you're getting the seam to be straight, as you can see right here. So it has a little drawback, it has a little bit of bulkiness going on, but now at least the seam is straight. Okay, so this tutorial, I want to point out, is for after you're doing your increases. If you can figure out the math on how to do this effect for a half double crochet during the normal increases, go for it. Just make sure your stitches are the right number. But this specific part was more for the continuous rounds, after you don't do normal increases, where you're actually expanding, let's say, your beanie to make it bigger, right? So you would do a decrease at the beginning of the round, and you would do an increase at the end of the round, which now balances out that natural slant that the half double crochet is producing. Okay? So I hope you learned a lot in this video. I have a written version of this on my website, which I highly recommend for you to read, because I go a little bit more in detail about this. I hope you liked this video. Give it a thumbs up, give it a share, leave a comment below. Tell me your aha moment of what you learned here and what you've never realized before. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on the rest of my social media, because most of my videos, almost all of them, have a why, explaining why things are the way they are. And if you've been frustrated by just getting the how, this is the way you want to learn. Thanks for listening. I see you next time. Bye.